once we run it, we can see is 5 greater equal 5 is also true, because 5 is equal 5. That's why this equation is correct. What's up YouTube, this is Dennis Panuta for tutorialsEU. In this video you are going to learn how to use the comparison operators in Kotlin, and this is part 12 of the series, so if you haven't watched the other parts, definitely check those out as well, and hit the like and subscribe button if you don't want to miss out on other videos like that. And we're going to look at comparison operators, which are going to be super important when it comes to if statements, which we're going to cover in the following couple of videos. So let's get started. Comparison operators are the ones that you can see here. So double equal, not equal, less than, greater than, less than equal, or greater equal. So now let's see how they are used in Kotlin. First of all, let's create this variable called is equal, and it's going to be the result of the following operation, which means 5 equal 3. So what does that do? Well, it checks if the value on the left hand side is the same as the value on the right hand side. So that's what this double equal sign does. So it's comparing two values to each other, and it's going to give us a Boolean result. So it says it's a Boolean expression, even though we can simplify the Boolean expression. So let's just do that. You can say it gives me the result directly, which is false. But of course, that's not what I wanted, because what I wanted is to display this operation here, which is just saying, okay, one side equal the other side, or is the one side the same value as the other side of this double equation here. So if you do that, you will get a result which is either false or true. So if we do the same with 5 equals 5, then of course the result will be true. And in this case, it's super obvious because we can see those values. But let's say they are hidden behind a variable where you can't always see the variable's value, then this will be a very useful operation, because maybe you even want to do something based on that operation. So let's say if this condition is true, then you want to run some code. Then it's going to be very important to do these type of comparison operations. And of course, this is also something that we are going to look at later on, which are if statements. But for now, this is our very simple operation that we have here. So now let's go ahead and print something onto our console. And I'm going to write is equal is plus is equal. So what I'm doing here is I'm using concatenation. So it's just using this string, and then it's converting this into a string and just saying whatever the value is. So if we run that, we can see that is equal is false. So our is equal is false. So then, of course, our IDE, which means our Android Studio, says, hey, you can convert concatenation to a template. So let's do that. And you can see what it does. It changes this to having a very different way of writing it. So one was the concatenation, and this one is a template that we're using here, which requires this $sign. So what we can do is we can use this $sign, and afterwards, whatever the value or the variable that we want to use will be printed here. So in this case, it's just going to be the result of whatever we had here. So if we run this, it will result in the same type of print statement that we have here. So I need to run it twice, and there we are, is equal is false. So now let's use this a little more, because let's create another comparison where I'm just going to create is not equal is going to be 5 not equal 5. So let's just test if that is true or false. Of course, it's going to be false because 5 is equal 5. But if we just print that now, and let me print this again, but now with is not equal. All right, so now I'm using is not equal instead of is equal, and I'm going to comment this line out, and I'm going to change the name here as well. So it's going to be is not equal is, and then let's see if it's true or false. And we can see it says is not equal is false. because 5 is equal 5, but we are checking if 5 is not equal 5. So this exclamation mark here says that it should be not equal. So this here is another way of testing a comparison. But of course, there are a bunch more that we have here. So what we can check is, let's say, the following. So instead of creating a new variable for every single one of those comparison operators, let's just do it in the print line statement directly. So is greater, so in this case is 5 greater 3 is going to be, and now I'm using something very cool here because I'm using another pretty cool feature here of Kotlin where we have the same principle that we had here, but now because we don't just have one variable that we want to put into a string, but we want to put a calculation, so to speak, or in this case a comparison, so a whole expression, so to say, and then we need to use these curly brackets. So we're saying please run the code within the curly brackets and then print the result in this stead, so at this spot of our code. So now if we run this, we can see that it says is 5 greater 3 is true. Well, of course it's true because 5 is a greater number than 3 is. But now let's say we check the same thing with a minus 5. If that is greater than 3, then it should be false. And there we are, it says false. Of course, I didn't add the minus here in the print statement. All right, but you get the gist of it. Now, of course, we can do the same with some other print statements here. So println is 5 lower equal 3. And then please try to do the expression in here. So try it yourself before I will show you how to. All right, so the expression starts with a curly bracket, and then we say 5 less than equal 3. All right, so this is the expression. Now let's see what we get as a result here. And we can see is 5 lower equal 3. It says false because 5 is a greater number than 3. So the whole expression ends up being false, and that's what we get as the print statement here. So this concept that we use here is called string interpolation. All right, so just so you have seen this keyword. Of course, you can now go ahead and do the same with the other comparison operators that we've seen there at the top. So instead we can use greater equal, and here is higher or greater equal 3, and then we saw the other one, right? Actually is less 3. And now let's run this. So now we have all of our results here. Is not equal is false. Here is minus 5 less than 3. It's true. Yeah, of course, because a negative value is going to be less than a positive value. Then we have is lower or 5 lower equal 3 is false, and is 5 greater equal 3 is true. Now, of course, we can also set a 5 in there just to see if this is still gonna work. And once we run it, we can see is 5 greater equal 5 is also true because 5 is equal 5. That's why this equation is correct. So this greater equal is accepting both. So it's gonna return true if the left value is greater than the right value or if they are equal. All right, so that's it for assignment operators. In the next video, we are going to check out increment and decrement operators. So see you there.